Hey, this is Matt once again with about another video, and Kingpin wanted me to do a topic of the Tom Holland Spider-Man film trilogy versus the Venom Trilogy. These two trilogies and which I like more, which I like less. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of either, but there is one I would put above the other, but we'll get to that in a bit. But thank you, Kingpin. I appreciate your generosity. If anyone wants to request any other type of video, whether it be a tier list, a ranking, a movie review, a re-review, thought streams, commentaries, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And thank you for those who have sent it. I do appreciate it. I'm trying to get these out as soon as I possibly can. But before I start, the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. I will admit, when it comes to Spider-Man, I'm a tough guy to please. I liked a lot of the cartoons that were made about him. I like the Spider-Verse movies, both of them, both Into and Across the Spider-Verse. I liked those movies. In fact, I would say those are my favorite Spider-Man movies, are the Spider-Verse movies. I'm not big on the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, I don't mind. Spider-Man 3, I hate. The Amazing Spider-Man, I do not like. Amazing Spider-Man 2 has grown on me. I would say 98% of the movies I've talked about, how I thought of them the first time, is how I think of them now. But there is that 2-3% that either they grow and age like wine, or they dissipate and age like rotten milk. I think as time goes on, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I mean, it has its issues, but I actually liked it. It's too many cooks in the kitchen. They tried to do too many stories, but there's a lot of stuff in that film I do like and I do enjoy, and despite its flaws. In Spider-Man Homecoming, to start with the first of the Tom Holland trilogy, was kind of the opposite, where when I first saw it, I liked it, and as time went on, it kind of, my enjoyment kind of decommissioned more and more. And here's the thing, I don't hate Tom Holland. I don't. I think he was horribly miscast in Uncharted. Especially after playing the Uncharted games and really enjoying them. I mean, I truly enjoyed the Uncharted games. They were a lot of fun. He was a horrible casting choice in Uncharted. But I don't mind him in Spider-Man. Or as Spider-Man. Captain America Civil War, I thought he did a good job. But I do think his character was better written and better utilized in that movie. I don't think the writing, and I don't think the directors were the best choices. I know the same director did all three of those Spider-Man movies. I don't think it was the right choice. And I think the scripts had issues with them. And Homecoming, that and Far From Home, I'll be honest, I don't remember a whole lot of those movies. I think when I reviewed them, it was like 50-50. There's stuff I liked, there's stuff I don't, there's stuff I enjoyed, there's stuff I ranted on. I did feel like there were kind of 50-50 type of things, where Homecoming, I enjoyed Michael Keaton as Vulture. Far From Home, I really enjoyed Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. Homecoming, I liked some of the banter he had with Robert Downey Jr., but on the flip side, I don't like how much of a fucking sidekick of Iron Man he was becoming. I don't like the Iron Spider suit. He's not Iron Man. He's not Batman. He's Spider-Man, goddammit. Just let him be Spider-Man. I don't like that the suit so many times is CGI. None of the three Spider-Man the suit is always CGI. And if not always, then most of the time. If not always, I'm sure it's because, I don't know, just, at times it feels like he's just standing still and it's CGI. And yeah, maybe sometimes it's not, and my eyes are deceiving me, or sometimes it is. I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe sometimes they do that because when it goes into CGI, they don't want a big difference between this is the live action suit, this is CG. But if it's CG while he's staying still, then when you see him in action, it won't be as much of a whiplash effect. I don't know. But the designs, I never liked the designs of the suit. I still think the best looking live action Spider-Man suit is the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they got it right. And throughout the years, I've really appreciated Andrew Garfield's portrayal as Spider-Man, and even Peter Parker. I've really warmed up to him. I still don't like Tobey Maguire. I know, a lot of people disagree, but I never liked Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Never did. Opie Taylor. Hey, Aunt B, are my pies ready? But anyway. Yeah, Homecoming, like I said, I like Michael Keaton, Vulture character. I don't think Tom Holland does a bad job acting wise. I just think that the scripts are not up to snuff. I don't care for the girl Zendaya as MJ. I think she sucks. I hate his buddy Ned. Ned, I wish the character was dead. He's annoying as fuck. He won't shut up. Oh, this? How about you shut the fuck up before I punch you in the face and make you shut up? He's so fucking annoying, irritating. Why does he need a comet fat guy sidekick? I don't know why he needs that in the first place. I don't think that was a great addition. He was so irritating. He was never funny to me. He didn't make me laugh one goddamn time throughout all three of those movies. So I don't care for him. I don't care for Zendaya. I think she's a shitty actress. Horrible fucking actress. I don't care for the super suit. And I forget who is it Jennifer someone recognizable voices. I forget who the hell it was that voices the suit. Forget the damn name of the actress, but why does he need an Iron Man, leftover suit? I know the idea is that throughout it he abandons it, then he stands on his own 2 feet. I do get that. I get it. But I don't care for the look of it. I don't care for the gadgets. That's not what I go for a Spider-Man movie. It's not what I look into. That's not why I like the character. If that was in a comic, it'd be one of the lesser comics I would like to read. And I love Spider-Man in the comics. I read a lot. I loved, if I could, I love to get those omnibus with a lot of those Spider-Man comics. I would love to get some of them and just read them again. But there's so many, and those things cost so damn much. As like, where the hell do you even start? But anyway. And Far From Home, I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. There's a couple action scenes I remember enjoying, like the hallway scene where he's using his Spidey sense and avoiding stuff at the end of the film. This hallway base, and the way that's visualized, I thought looked pretty cool. I think Jake Gyllenhaal stole the show in that. But I remember other bits just and again, I can't remember the details. What's funny is the film I remember the details for is No Way Home, which is definitely the one I hated the most, and is definitely, I think, one of the most overrated Marvel films is No Way Home. I do. I think that's one of the most overrated Marvel films ever. It was the gimmick of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield getting into the film and having all 3 Spider-Men in there. That's why it made so much goddamn money. I always thought that film fucking sucked. I thought it sucked when I first saw it. I think it sucks now. Honestly, I would say between all 6 of these movies, the 3 Spider-Man and the 3 Venoms, that's the one I hate the most. because I think that's the one that's the most overrated. That's the one that's the most stupid. And the Venom movies are really stupid. That's the film that it doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense, but then people are like, oh my god, it's so great. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I mean, I get it. People have different opinions. People have differing thoughts, and people. But like, there's this one guy I would watch named Mauler, and I'm like, okay, he's very hard on, like, he's hard on like Blade Runner 2049. He's hard on, he hates John Wick 2, hates John Wick 3. He's hard on the Mandalorian season 1 and 2. He's very hard on them and harsh. But I'm like, but this is the film you're praising. This is the film you're. I mean, teach their own, man. Teach their own. But I'm like, this film from a fucking Spider-Man who gives away where the fuck. Okay, before we even get to that, the beginning of the film, where his identity is out in the world. You're trying to fucking tell me that the estate of Tony Stark, I'm assuming Gwyneth Paltrow would own that, and that Jon Favreau, who's pretty much going out with your aunt, he would have a hand in that. You're telling me, and my damn silencer acting up more and more as I get more pissed, they couldn't help your two friends go to school. Oh, my friends couldn't get into the school. You're telling me that, oh, well, how about a little bit of, money under the table? A little bit, Your two friends couldn't get into fucking school? Or a better school? And that they couldn't be helped out? You think the Avengers, hey, this guy did... Nobody would help you out? Nobody? Are you shitting me? Are you kidding me? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. And then, okay, I want you to do this dangerous thing, Doctor Strange, of changing everybody's mind in the world. I need you to go into everybody's mind in the entire world who knows my identity and get rid of it. Not because my friends are in danger, not because my friends may die, but because my friends did not go to the fucking school they wanted to. Talk about first world problems. Boo-hoo, you get to go to college you wanted to. Where? I don't give a fuck. Work at a 7-Eleven then. Again, you're telling me, like, you give me a fucking break. Give me a break. Give me a break to that Kit Kat bar you're smoking. Now you're supposed to eat it, not smoke that shit. And this is why this incident happened? Because your friends didn't go to school? The high up... Get the fuck out of here. And then the nostalgia bear. Hey, do you remember Green Goblin? Willem Dafoe? Do you remember Doc Ock? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Do you remember this guy? Do you remember Andrew Garfield? Do you remember Toby or not to be Maguire? Oh, I remember. I also remember that Tom Holland, hey, you know what the bright idea? All these are villains. I know these are all villains. I'm going to invite them to my fucking home where my fucking aunt lives. And why don't you just give them your social security? Why don't you just give them your driver's license? Why don't you just give them your bank notes? Why don't you just give them your ass while you pull your panties down, bend over, and they just take turns ramming you like a goddamn cheerleader squad? How about you do that? How about they're the football team and you're the cheerleader and you're the whore of the month? 1-900, fuck it. That's what your hole is saying. Write that on your asshole, Tom Holland. How about you do that? While these guys bang you in the ass over and over again. Because you're taking it up the ass. Because you act like a dumb bitch. Dumb bitch. The dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen a Spider-Man do in a fucking movie, and people just let it go? What the fuck are people talking about? He brought all these villains to the place he fucking lives. So that his aunt could say, octopus, so, do you like salt water? That's a fucking line of dialogue. Oh, big surprise! The villains are villains, and they decide to turn on you and decide to kill you. You mean what villains do? The villains act like villains? Holy shitballs of fire. Who could have thunk it? Who could have guessed that? And then Ned, we're going to have Ned try to be one of the... Give me a fucking break. And then the whole finale of the film. I find it funny that this is your opportunity to have a Sinister Six. And then we only have 5 villains. Willem Dafoe, Sandman, Electro, Doc Ock, Lizard. Of those 5, Doc Ock fairly soon becomes a good guy. And then the big battle at the end, Willem Dafoe, he's fucked off. So I find it funny that it takes 3 Spider-Men to defeat 3 supervillains. I remember multiple comics that, they fight the Sinister Six. Spider-Man's don't fight the Sinister Six. He gotta fight 6 by himself, but it takes 3 Spider-Men to take care of 3 fucking villains. Was it? That's just hilarious to me. Then and also Doc Ock helps out as well. So really, it's like 4 on 3. Like, people don't see how that's kind of a weird bit of doing this, where the stakes don't really feel that high. The danger isn't really that prominent. I'm like, you guys should win, unless you're a bunch of pussy-ass bitches. I hate that fucking movie, man. It is so fucking overrated. So many stupid decisions. Even at the end, like, you don't know what happens to the villains. Like, what, do they get dropped off and they immediately get killed anyway? They've had a change of heart. But it's not about defeating the bad guys. It's about curing them. I don't know, tell that to all the people they murdered, and tell that to all the people they killed, but, it is what it is. Now, the Venom Trilogy sucks. All of them suck. And that's why I will say, I do think as a trilogy, the Venom Trilogy is worse. From the film I hate the most is No Way Home. But I would rather watch Homecoming, Far From Home over any of the Venom movies. I don't think Tom Hardy is that good in any of those 3. I know he's doing a film with the guy who did The Raid Redemption, and I mean, I wish it was someone else in the lead, but from what little I saw, it doesn't look like he's bad in that. We'll see. But okay, if I'm being fair, Tom Hardy has his moments in the Venom trilogy, but then there's moments where it's overindulgent. Like what was in the first Venom, where he goes to this tank with all these crabs and just grabbing them and acting like a maniac. And like I said, there are times where he does fine. There are times that he has banter with the symbiote, and there's some natural back and forth, and there are moments that he works, but then there's moments he goes a bit too far. So, to be fair, to say he sucked all the way around, no, I don't believe that. But would I say I adore the performance? No. Did the performance have moments? Sure. But even then, that's not even the culprit of those movies, is So much wasted potential left on the floor of that whole trilogy. Venom as a character, there's so much you could delve into with the whole symbiosis nature. You could take it as a form of addiction, where it makes you feel powerful, makes you feel good, makes you feel wanted, yet it's dangerous and it's harming you and is not the best course of action. And then if you want to go into the more anti-hero route, the lethal protector, you can, and the consequences of those actions. And instead they made it into a goofy, stupid, silly, goofball fucking comedy. All three of them. Where Venom gets pet chickens. And is this close to sucking his, the Tom Hardy's dick. And the joke is that they act like a married couple. They act like gay lovers. They act like this and that. That's what they're doing. That's what they're going for. Is that if they're gay lovers or fucking married and they're fighting like that. Like, why don't you just bone and get it over with? Bone to Unchained Melody. Where you are the fucking pot. You are the clay. The symbiote is the fucking clay. Cue the Unchained Melody music from Ghost. And just, I don't think a lot of the comedy was that funny. The villains were all shit in that trilogy. At least Homecoming, I like Michael Keaton's Vulture. Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio I like. There's not a fucking villain I liked. The first one, a symbiote that is run-of-the-mill, in one ear, out the other. You're not going to remember a damn thing about this villain. Woody Harrelson in Part 2 as Carnage, completely wasted. In a neutered PG-13 realm, where you see none of the carnage from a character called Carnage, has this ridiculous hair that didn't quite work for Woody Harrelson, that I think the script should have delved... Like, Woody, I think, could have maybe played the role well, but the script didn't do him any favors. The director didn't either. Sorry, I know the guy who directed it. Yes, I get it. You were Gollum. I don't give a fuck. That doesn't mean you're a director, dude. Doesn't mean you're up for the director chair. I don't give a fuck about Gollum anyway, so it wouldn't matter to me with that being the fucking thing, too. Sorry, dude. Fuck Gollum. Give a shit. I don't give a shit about Gollum. I don't give a shit about Lord of the Rings. Fuck Lord of the Rings. How about them apples? Fuck Gollum. Then Lord of the Rings are boring as shit. Bunch of fucking walking. Even the trees walked in those movies. But anyway, that's a whole different thing. The first Venom, so much of this stuff didn't make sense. Things that should have security doesn't have security. Things happen that shouldn't happen. There's barely any action. Venom barely fucking does anything. Saying lines that they might have been in the comics, but if that's the case, then it sounded stupid in the comics. Like a turd in the wind. That sounds stupid. I don't give a fuck if it was in the comics. It sounded... So what? Superman fought Muhammad Ali in the comics. Doesn't mean I want to see that in a fucking movie. I mean, just because in the comics doesn't automatically make it a win. Crypto, the super dog. I don't give a fuck about Crypto the dog. Fuck the dog and fuck Crypto. Fuck the currency and fuck the dog. Get back to this. The villain was ass. The plot was boring. Run-of-the-mill. And again, just turned to a goofball buddy comedy. Then as time goes on, Venom 2, that one really made me mad. Because Carnage. Yeah, fucking Carnage. And Carnage just became another typical symbiote. Like the actual Carnage. The actual Carnage, when he was Carnage, had personality and was evil and sadistic. And no, he was just the voice, the mannerisms, the look. felt as generic as the villain in the first fucking Venom movie. And how the hell you don't make a Carnage film PG-13? None of these films should have been PG-13, honestly. Shoot on. Granted, if it was R-rated, it doesn't automatically mean it would be good, to be fair. So, it's not just because it's PG-13. But being that tame doesn't help. Especially for a film with your fucking Carnage character, where you see none of the carnage. And Venom barely does shit in those movies. They have one bit. They have one, like, what was it? Was it the first Venom? Or was it the first or second with the turd in the wind? And, like, the beginning of Venom 3 where there's those guys and he bites their heads off. They'll give, like, one little bit, and then you don't see him do anything for the longest fucking time. You don't see him being much of the lethal protector. And say he's got to talk about his fucking chickens and all this other shit. Or cook food. Let me watch you cook food. Eddie. Eddie. What have you done for me lately, Eddie? And Venom 3... pointless subplots. I mean, like that family that's on the road trip to Area 51. They're just there so that there could be people who need rescued at the end of the film. The girlfriend that was such a big supposed plot point in the first two. You don't mention it at all in Venom 3. Like, what happened to her? Or they mention, but she's not featured much at all since it's supposed to be the finale of this. Once again, oh yeah, they built up this whole team, or how you want to put him, that's going to get out. He never leaves his fucking throne. I don't think he ever gets out of his fucking chair once. Well, except the very, very end of the film, of this final bit of the trilogy, he gets out of his fucking chair. What's the point of that? If this is the final bit of the trilogy, then what's the point of waiting till the end so he gets off his fat ass? Then what? For a movie that's never going to happen? Since this whole Sony Spider-Man thing. And that's another thing. Having Venom films with no Spider-Man, it could maybe work, but it's a tough pill to swallow for people. If there's one that you could, it'd be Venom. Not Kraven the Hunter, not Madam Web, not Morbius. If there's one that could work, is maybe Venom, and even then, it just make these unfunny buddy movies that have little action. I'll give you, when you actually see Venom, I like the look of Venom. I think the voice they gave of Venom, which I think is Tom Hardy as well. I think. I like the voice of Venom. I like the look of Venom. But there's so many things that just wasted potential. Wasted potential, the whole trilogy. Complete wasted potential. And if you want to know more details, I've done reviews of all three Venom films. They're on the channel. So you can look more into details as to why I don't like them. I would just be redoing the reviews, so feel free to look up the reviews if you want to hear more of my thoughts on each of those. But they're dumb. They're not that fun, in my opinion. I think they're fairly boring. I don't think the relationship between Eddie and Venom are as exciting as some people made it out to be. They're tame. The villains suck ass. They're generic fluff pieces. And like stuff gets set up and never fulfilled. Like this whole setup about this girl who, oh, we love her, Eddie, and then she's not mentioned. You don't bring her in the third film. You think that'd be an important character for your final bit. This love interest that you so hone in on in the first two films. Or again, that whole big villain that is in this fucking chair, this throne, and doesn't do shit till the last scene of the movie where he gets up and then they're not going. I mean, to be fair, they say they won't make any more, but don't be surprised if they make one more Venom, because these films do well worldwide. But, so don't be surprised on that, if they do something with Venom more. let's take a step back. This won't be the last time they have Venom. It's just funny they kept saying this is the last of the trilogy and this is how they ended. You'll see Venom again. In some way, in some shape, some form, Venom is the only character that was an iota of success for Sony when it comes to stuff not Spider-Man, that's superhero related, comic book related, so they'll do something with Venom. They just won't waste it on stupid shit like Kraven the Hunter and other bullshit. But yeah, I hate all three Venom films. Just a complete wasted potential. But yeah, with that said, the versus idea, I would give the Spider-Man Tom Holland trilogy, because Far From Home and Homecoming have their issues, but at least I just say I like the villains. There's some action scenes in those first two that I could say, oh, that was a fun scene, or that was a bit business, or you know what, that scene between Michael Keaton and Tom Holland in the car, where they kind of find out who each other are, that was a nice little tense sequence. There's moments like that I thought worked. It was more than I'd say for the Venom trilogy. But yeah, No Way Home sucks my dick, eats my ass. Horrible piece of fucking shit. Which, that review is up on there if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.